Now let's start the first lesson. Unit 1 is marathon technique. In this unit, you do not need to repair the report. You just get familiar with the laboratory and the labware. Let's start with the common equipment apparatus in a laboratory. First, the glassware to store chemical long-term storage. We have various types of reaction portal as you can see on the screen. Remember that you do not put anything into the reaction portal because you can contaminate the chemical inside. If you want to take the chemical, first pour them out to the temporary container. Here are some of them. We have beaker, Erlenmeyer flask or conical flask, and test tube. Now let's see the video to know about them. The beaker.
Beakers. Now, beakers are actually one of the most commonly used pieces of equipment in your chemistry lab. You can actually use these things for a wide variety of different uses. Now, some of the more common uses for a beaker are first, mixing material. And the reason that I prefer to mix my samples in a beaker rather than test tubes is because, obviously, as you guys can see, a beaker holds a lot more material than a test tube, so it's usually easier to mix stuff in. Another thing is boiling. So if you have a sample that you just need to heat up or a solution that you need to boil, you can go ahead and put it on a hot plate or over a flame. And that's why I recommend getting a high quality glass, because we're going to be using beakers a lot to heat up solutions. So whenever we heat them up, if you have a low quality like cheapo glass, they usually crack, or high quality glass is awesome since we're going to be heating it up. That's what I'm trying to say. And another reason that I really love beakers is because they have a little spout. And the spout is really good whenever you want to pour something. It makes it a lot easier. So again, mixing, measuring, boiling, heating up, pouring. Beakers are pretty much awesome for all around use.
How about the Erlenmeyer flask?
Now beakers.
How about the Erlenmeyer flask?
I want to talk to you guys about the Erlenmeyer flask. Now, this is probably the most famous or popular pieces of chemistry glassware, and that's because I think of its unique shape. You don't see anything that looks like this other than in a chemistry lab, and well, I don't know, I just think it looks really cool. But the uses of these things are actually really similar to beakers. For example, you can use these for measuring, you can also use them for boiling solutions, etc., etc. Basically anything that you can do with a beaker, you can do with an Erlenmeyer flask. Now, the reason that you may prefer to use an Erlenmeyer flask rather than a beaker in certain experiments is because, first of all, it makes it really easy to swirl solutions. If you try to swirl a solution with a beaker, it's probably going to get all over the place, but in an Erlenmeyer flask, it's really easy. Another thing is that whenever you have a product and you need to seal it up, sealing things up in a beaker is actually kind of difficult because the mouth is so wide. But with these flasks, you can just go ahead and put a cork in it or a rubber stopper. You can seal them up really easy. Now, another reason is that they don't tip as easy as beakers. Due to the shape, whenever you set it down, they're really hard to knock over, so they don't tip easy. And the last reason is just, well, it looks really
Okay.
good.
Now we have a short summary about the beaker and Erlenmeyer flask. They are often interchangeable. However, in some cases we refer to use beaker. In some cases we refer to use Erlenmeyer flask. For example, in beaker, if we want to pour the chemical, a beaker is more easy. But if we want to swirl the solution, Erlenmeyer flask is more convenient. The beaker have large surface, so it is easy to operate. It means we can put something inside, for example, steering. For Erlenmeyer flask, it had a narrow surface, so it a little bit difficult to open that, but it's easy to cover that. Both of them have the red shaded mark. However, the mark for reference or rough estimate only. It's not suitable for accurate measurement of the chemical. So now we take a short break and see you in the next video. Thank you.